We had a few ideas on how we could use that space. It's kind of hard to see, so I don't want to touch your chest. But so the main idea is to get rid of the fencing and then put flower beds around the outside, just to make it more visually interesting and a bit more pretty than what it is now. And besides flowers, you can also look at food, and then also some round tables around the edge too, so it can be a meeting place and a sitting place. As you can see here, this is here. Yeah, maybe I'll just print it. So as you can see on there's a very large vacant wall or blank wall here. So we thought that'd be a great place to project large films and other images and things, and it would make a big impression on kind of lighting up that entire square. We had the idea that there could be food trucks when there are events held. Maybe they could be in food containers, that kind of thing. We also thought about bringing art to this area, and this is Albert and Vic. So we thought, why not have like a statue that maybe the University of Regina fine art students prepare of a statue of Prince Albert and Queen Vic Victoria. Maybe they could be dancing or something. Major section.
Hi folks. So we have Ottawa and 11. So the block itself is double block, 50 feet wide by 150 feet long-ish. 125? Yeah, I'm more square than this guy. We've got some ideas. It's a vacant lot. There is a big park just down the road for kids, so we weren't concentrating on kids too much. So there's PepsiCo Park just down the road from this. So we weren't looking for little kids, we're looking for whole community. So we have some ideas of, because we've got two big trees out the front, which are fantastic, and during the warmer seasons, we'll be shaded. So we've got like a seating area at one end, followed by at the other end, which is full sun, 3 months of the year. A community garden of sorts, in raised flower beds, so that less vandalism, easy to get to, more all age friendly. And then on the back wall, to try and keep the noise out of the neighbours and make them happy. Kind of maybe a graffiti wall or something like that, which maybe once a year gets painted over, and so it can be refreshed and made new again, with different heritages, and taking into account the multitude of heritages in the area, the Asians, the Germans, Ukrainians, First Nations, and any other new immigrants that happen to arrive in the area. So we'd also thought about blocking off the parking lane as well, either with food trucks occasionally or permanently with shipping containers and having them as storage for spaces, or even food trucks inside them. So lots of different ideas. Interesting project, lots of life, up and coming neighborhood. Think about it. That's kind of live.
You need a place to put an ice sculpture. Right?
Hello, I'm Erin. I'm here presenting for Winter in Wascana. I was saying I came into this, I didn't know anybody, and now I'm presenting.
Way to dive in.
She got voluntold.
Yeah, so we're working on the Winter in Wascana concept, and like all concepts, you have big ideas and small ideas. So we have two sort of big ideas and one small idea. So I'll tell you a bit about all of them. The first big idea is originated from Neil and Dinesh, and they have worked very hard at developing a concept called the Wow Winter Festival. And it's a very ambitious festival. They have lots of great people on board, and I encourage you to talk to either of them about their vision, because it's much more than I can dive into. So the other one, so before, we sort of talked about what a larger festival, winter festival in Regina could look like. And so our high-level idea was to look at it as a true citywide festival, and so that would be looking at, we had 3 specific venues in mind. One would be the downtown core, the Los Angeles Center Authority, and as well as the RCMP Heritage Center. So, sort of attractions, you can do lots of ways of different food. I think you could find a really good partner if the Regina Downtown Business District. Wascana Center Authority is really good for more outdoor activities and working, developing trails, whether it's cross-country trails, snowshoeing trails, snowshoe races, we have that area. And the RCMP Heritage Center is a great indoor-outdoor venue for lots of family programming.
And that gives all the connections, you know?
Okay, so just contact you
But
directly and
yes,
then that's
yes.
the...
And I want to really, honestly invite each one of you. Nothing is final. We want ideas, we want it to work. And we're thinking of long term every year. And we want to avoid the mistakes, possible mistakes, why Waskimo went out and that kind of thing. Waskimo was a very successful thing, you know? But the winter wiped it out, you know? And so we have to look at the alternatives, you know? That if
I think we had a great walk down to the site, and just to introduce it, it's the one behind the copper kettle, so it like bridges the 2 copper kettles, I guess, and just north of Flip there. I think the discussion was around how do we start small and then build it into something more permanent, and that was kind of embraced by the group. So I'll leave it to the groups to
I
present.
don't know who's presenting for that one, but I can start with this one for sure. So some of the things that we first started thinking about was when would people want to use these alleys, or when would we want people to use it? So we thought about 2 different times. One was be, of course, daytime, and we know that people are sort of in the downtown area during business hours, during lunch, and lunch is when, of course, they get out and about, right? So we wanted to kind of use that opportunity. So we thought because the copper kettle is here, we could put tables and of course encourage working with businesses to open up this area with tables and chairs for them to eat lunch out here. And of course we would beautify the area first. There would be planters, hanging, also standing, hanging on the walls, maybe some green walls. And some of that could be more permanent, you know. But the tables might just be for 1 week first, or it might be just for a few days, depending on how things work out. Art could be hung on the walls. There's a few walls that seems to be suitable for art pieces. There is a barbed wire sort of weird area here that we thought we would definitely cover up with some greeneries. Could be anything from climbing plants, peas, or any kind of climbing plant. So that's kind of the daytime. Did I forget anything about the daytime in our group? That's kind of sums it up. And then we were also thinking about more of actually during the daytime we thought maybe we could also have musicians. We could have a little stage that would actually draw people into the area for them to have lunch. Either if they had lunch at the coffee kettle, or if they just brought their own lunch to sort of tables. We also thought about a nighttime activity, and we, like the other group, we thought about showing movies in these areas would be perfect. You know, hanging sheets or something could be quite easy. And there's a few different walls that would be possible here for sure. And plenty of lights, of course, because these are pretty dark places. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Did I forget anything?
We're the second group for activating alleys, and our idea is like really similar, but it's called Market Fest or Foodie Fest, and it's an extension basically of the farmers market down this alley. So it's like super close, and so we've set up like some stalls and umbrellas down the alley, and then we were thinking we would like set up like tables and maybe like busking and potentially some food trucks in this space at the top here. and like basically have it as a kind of, I guess, like one day or like weekend extension of the farmers market. So it'd be something temporary, but then like that could be recurring eventually. And we also did talk about like incorporating, like you said, some like projections and like film or even like a photograph series onto one of the walls. That could be something that's like made locally and would be like a really cool chance, like while people are sitting and like eating the food from the trucks in the farmers market, that they could watch like a photograph series that had like something to do with the space, like that was to do with the area or like made by people in the area. So that could project onto one of these walls. And like potentially also we had ideas to do with like busking again and like some circus performers locally. So basically it was like a market kind of festival thing.
Any champions?
We're looking for champions, for sure. We do know that Robert's the guy, though. We need to talk to. Yeah.
The champion needs to find Robert.
Yeah, this guy Robert is the man. Yeah, he owns the Copper Kettle, so he's.
We often at the bar in the Copper Kettle.
Oh.
I don't know Hamlin's, but in the Copper Kettle side. So if you see a gentleman who's elderly.
I guess just before we finish off, we just want to turn over to any RAD representatives who want to talk about carrying these projects further, or how someone would go about if maybe they don't think they're the champion tonight, but they like think about it, they get excited about it, and they're like, you know what, I could champion this idea.
So number one, if you're not already signed up on our RAD list, get signed up on it. There are also 2 other initiatives that we didn't have time to prepare for, and I made a sign-in sheet for those. Those include better pedestrian and bike infrastructure. And the reason I put those lists down there is, the city's working through its official community plan. Things like the transportation master plan are going to come forward at some point. It'd be good to have some people, that are kind of being watchdogs on that and making sure it's something that residents want, but it still has some mechanisms to get things going. So, what that might look like, some of us have some ideas of what that might look like. I think there already is a champion. He's not here right now, but that would be Raza. So yeah. But.
Okay, so both of those lists are just beside the wooden bowl. Maybe Kathleen, can you just point at that there, just around there? The wooden bowl is actually there because I just want to remind you that Queen City Hub is a non-for-profit, and then we're also accepting donations tonight, and it's been a real pleasure to be the host of Urbanity, and we want to make sure that stuff like this continues. And given that it is our last night, I want to give a huge shout out to all the volunteers from RAD, from the Queen City Hub, from Regina Urban Ecology, and from SPPI. Please do follow us, follow RAD on Facebook, follow Queen City Hub on Facebook or Twitter, and just stay tuned because we really would love to see the series continue in some shape or fashion. And if you have ideas about how that should happen, then let us know. We really want to hear them. And I think that's all. That's all. Yeah, head to the bar.
At this point, like, mingle with people, if you find connections, make connections,
Stay and socialize, make connections.